Hello there, sweet friends. Today I am sharing some simple, cozy home decorating and homemaking ideas. These are easy and affordable ways to make your home feel warm and welcoming any time of the year. Let's go ahead and get started. One of the easiest ways to make your home feel cozy is to make fresh baked goods. Now, I am sharing my process for making sourdough bread, but I have mentioned this before. I am not an expert. I am still very much in the learning phase of baking, not just bread, but all kinds of different things. It is a process, and like I have said many times before in my channel, if you are looking for perfection here, you will not find it. But if you are looking for encouragement to try new things, learn from your mistakes, and to grow, those are definitely things that you will find here. I recently turned 40, and if there is one thing that I have learned over my 40 years is that it's never too late to try something new. You just can't be afraid to fail. Making mistakes and failing is part of the learning process. That is how we grow. In fact, I have some muffins that I am going to be sharing a little bit later in the video that didn't turn out as well as I had hoped, but the point is taking time to bake homemade meals and treats for the ones that you love makes home feel welcoming, inviting, and cozy. Okay, so back to the sourdough bread making here for just a minute, and most everything that I have learned about sourdough bread making has come from a very good friend of mine who has shared a bunch of tips and tricks with me as far as bread making goes, and then I also have a book that I will link in the description that has been very helpful as well. A schedule for making sourdough bread is going to look a little bit different for everyone, and this is just a little glimpse at my process, but what I do is pull my starter out of the refrigerator the day before I actually want to bake my loaf of bread. I feed my starter. It gets a half a cup of bread flour and then a quarter cup of warm water. I will let my starter sit out on the counter all day and all evening, and then somewhere between 8 and 9 p.m. I will actually make up my dough. One thing I will recommend is that if you are going to get into sourdough making, definitely get yourself a scale. You do want to use a scale so you can get those really precise measurements. After I let my dough rise on the counter all night long, in the morning I will shape my dough, place it in the basket, and then tie a plastic bag around it and set it in the refrigerator until I am ready to bake it. Once you are ready to bake your bread, you want to put your Dutch oven in the oven while it is preheating. Usually while my Dutch oven is preheating in the oven, I will go ahead and score my bread and get it ready to go. And honestly, friends, I am sharing this whole process with you today, not because I am an expert at doing this. I'm definitely not. I have a lot to learn, but that is the lesson here, that you can do anything that you put your mind to. It just takes a little bit of practice and patience. And actually, as my bread was baking, it just started to snow again. We have had a really cold last couple of weeks, so fresh baked bread on this day was absolute perfection. Today, I also wanted to talk about how there are times when I crave a very simplified space, and I thought I would share some very simple styling ideas in a couple different places around my home. We are going to start here at my kitchen table. Now, I have mentioned before that we don't sit here at the table for all of our meals. We usually sit at our large kitchen island, but I thought I would share some family-friendly styling ideas for the table that would be easy to move for a meal, but still help your kitchen to feel cozy. I thrifted this picnic style basket and I'm adding some pretty white napkins with some simple geranium stems. Paired with that, I added this bowl of artichokes for a pop of color, and that's it. You could also put some real fruit in the bowl if you wanted to, and the nice thing about using a basket is that you can just pick it up and move it when it is time for a meal. So like I had mentioned, the nice thing about using a basket on your table is that it makes it easy to move when you are ready to have a meal. So for the next styling, I am using this thrifted gathering basket and adding in those same white napkins, some thrifted rolling pins, and then those same artichokes. Everything is all in the basket, so you can just pick it up and move it at once. In my opinion, you can't go wrong with a pretty white pitcher full of florals. I'm also adding in this beautiful thrifted blue bowl with some pears. I was saying earlier that making homemade baked goods is a simple way to decorate and make your home feel cozy. I am baking some glazed blueberry muffins today. Now, like I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, these muffins didn't turn out as well as I had hoped. I think that my baking powder was a little bit too old and the muffins didn't get as much rise as I normally like. But my message here is, well, sometimes these things happen. Perfection in life just doesn't exist. I am always learning new things. I still make mistakes, lots of them, but like I was saying earlier, that is how we learn. So I bought some new baking powder and I will give them a try again. But that's why these muffins are looking a little flat today, I think. The muffins tasted amazing. They just didn't rise as much as I wanted them to, but they still look really pretty on my cake stand and they are ready for those that I love to enjoy. That is what really matters. We are going to come back to these muffins here in just a minute, but I wanted to share this really quick thrift store project. I found this sweet little ceramic pocket, but the pink flowers on it were just a bit too bright. I am using some acrylic paint in the color French blue, a small paintbrush, and a toothpick to cover the pink. Now the color fits just a bit better in my kitchen. I love to add baked goods to the cake stand here on my counter. That way my family can help themselves, plus it looks so cozy. Of course, I had to take a moment to enjoy a muffin. I have been reading Florette Farm's Cut Flower Garden book. I am so excited to share the plans for my garden in next week's video, as well as my vision for a welcoming spring into my home this year. I have just a few more simple styling ideas for the kitchen counter. I kept the cake stand with the muffins, but added in a few pretty green stems in a white pitcher. I paired it with this white pedestal bowl with some antique cookie cutters. Simple florals paired with a candle is another combination that works well for the kitchen counter. Finally, I thought we could chat about how styling little cozy corners in your home is a simple way to make your home feel styled without interfering with day-to-day life. I think this little thrifted vintage floor lamp makes this reading corner so cozy. I found this for just $7 and the shade needs a bit of a makeover, but that is coming in a later video. In this week's Cozy Chats, I wanted to continue from last week's video and share a few more subscriber comments to say thank you for your kindness. Well, friends, I hope that you found some inspiration for your home. If you are new here, I hope that you will consider subscribing and making yourself at home. I am looking forward to seeing you all next week.